My name is Jens Peter Kofoed, and I'm from Aalborg University.
Now, Jens, you're from Denmark. We have people here from, 11 different countries. Is it easy for all these different countries to communicate with one another? I mean, do you know all these other guys from Spain and from France and Italy?
Well, it used to be a relatively limited group of people who were interested in this if you go back a decade or so. Of course, now there's a lot of new people coming into the business as it's growing and being more commercial and so on. But you could say for the people who are involved in a project like this, there's a lot of familiar faces. Yeah.
You all get on?
Yes, we do. And I think there is a common understanding that this is needed. I mean, it's because the different machines are so different. It's not like we have already found out that we should have a wind turbine with a horizontal axis and 3 blades on, and then you can define what is efficiency and so on.
Give us an idea of the different things that are out there then, whether they're actually in the water or whether they're being developed as prototypes.
Yes, I mean, as an example, you could say if you have an overtopping device, so that's a device that is harvesting the waves.
So it's pushing the water over the top of itself?
Yes, and then you collect the water in a reservoir and you end up with a water volume with a head in comparison with the surrounding sea.
And that's what drives a turbine?
Yeah, then you can drive a turbine with that. There you can easily define, this is the width of a structure, this is the amount of energy that is coming towards the structure, and when we measure how much energy is produced by the turbine when we run with this device in a certain sea state, we can define an efficiency as the ratio between these numbers. If we look at a device like Pyramus, which is a so-called attenuator, so it's a snake. It's a long snake in the water, and if you define efficiency from just the width of that device, because it is a snake, a slender snake with a very limited width but a long length, you'll end up having very high efficiencies if you define it in the same way. So you can say that would not give the base of a fair comparison between these two different kinds of devices.
Well, I have to say, if I was you, I'd just give up now because, I mean, that sounds impossible.
Yeah, well, that is a challenge. And the challenge is also, there are different focuses. What are we focusing on? Can we just evaluate this from a purely economical point of view? Are we only going for the device that produces the cheapest electricity? Maybe not, because in the far future, or maybe not so far future, maybe even the area that you possess for extracting a certain amount of energy is limited.
Or it has a lot of sea life, and maybe you haven't measured if there's a difficulty there, because uniquely Ecomar also has conservationists involved in it to try and measure the impact on seals and dolphins and fish stocks.
Yeah, so there's a lot of pears and apples that needs to be somehow compared to each other, even though it is very hard.
And tell me one last thing. The people that are involved in this industry, I imagined you'd all be sort of long-haired hippies, people that love the planet, but actually you're not.
We maybe used to be more.
Are you a short-haired hippie? Or a no-haired hippie in your case?
Yeah, in my case. I don't know if that is a trend within this.
Well, there's quite a lot of it about in this group.
Maybe it's because it's so hair-ripping an area to work with. No, I mean, if we look back 10, 15 years ago and we went for conferences, it was basically, long-haired hippies, university people, and a few crazy inventors. But over the past decade, there has been a shift because of the renewed interest in renewables, you could say. And now there is a real, you can say, a growing industry.
So you've got suits in.
Yeah.
That's sometimes difficult. This is guys who don't share your passion or not maybe driven the same way. They're looking to make money.
Yes, but it's needed. I mean, if you want to bring the industry forward, it is absolutely needed.
So at the end of 3 years, we will have managed to find ways to equitably compare all the marine devices that can ever be produced on the face of the planet, won't we?
Well, I would very much like to say yes to that question. But of course, I mean, we will at least have come quite much further than where we are now.